Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting with me, Carl Froch, aka the Cobra, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion. I ain't done this intro for a while. And International Boxing Hall of Famer. Also boxed in front of quite a few people. I don't mention it much. Do you know the number?
No, but every time I see it, I kind of switch off once you go past unified world champion and everything else, or whatever you did, because you obviously did a lot in boxing. So it rolls on and rolls on, and by the time you've got to the end of your accolades, we're asleep, aren't we? Because it goes on that long, you let you wake up.
Come on, give me a number.
What we were talking about?
My last fight.
80,000 people 80,000 people at Wembley. Yeah, fantastic.
He said it.
It's 80,000. We can't forget that number, can we?
Well, listen, we're sat in a hotel room not too far from where the premiere of the film Giant, which involves your great late old man, Brendan Ingle. What a guy.
Ingle,
yeah, we're going to go and watch the premiere, Giant, and you've seen the film yesterday, as have I. So, what did you make of it?
Originally, when they did the film, I was a bit sceptical, but he came with a good script, and what kind of sold it for me was Rowan, who did the film. He'd done a film that I'd seen called Fall, and it was very good. And I thought, well, this guy must know what he's doing, because I very rarely watch movies, and I watched this one. I thought, that's a tremendous film, and I thought, yeah, this is the man for the job. So we did the script here, and we advised on it. Me and my brother John, we gave him some plots, well, a lot of plots actually, and corrected him on a few things. Even though there's some bits in this film which have open to, what can I say, artistic change or whatever. But yeah, it's a great film, and we watched it with the family first in a cinema in Meadowhall in Sheffield. There's only a group of us, just the family, and it was nearly 2 hours long. And he came up to me afterwards. He said, "What do you think?" And I just kind of pulled the same face. And I think he was going to think I would say, "This is rubbish." I went, "You know what? It's absolutely fantastic. You've got a hit on your hands." And he went, "Do you mean that?" I went, "Yeah, it's a fantastic film." I said, "You couldn't have been any better." I just remember the last half hour of the film, I was absolutely crossing my legs, thinking, I need to go to the toilet here. I can't sit through this. And I just thought, I can't go, because if I even miss 2 minutes of this film, I'm going to miss an important bit. So, toughed it out and watched it. And I've seen it since at the London Film Festival. It got a standing ovation. Everybody thought it was great. Yeah, it's a fantastic film.
Yeah, I'm a big Naseem Hamed fan. And when I watched it, obviously it skips through because it's a film, it's not a series.
No.
And it has to miss out so many bits.
Yeah,
but was you overall happy with the story, especially for your dad? Did it represent your dad well?
Yeah, look, when they first came on with the film, they said, this is going to be about your dad. I says, listen, it don't really matter. It's a complete story with everybody. He says, we want to do it about your dad, and coming over from Ireland and bringing all these kids through, and this was his big success. And when I watched the film, I just thought it was a very, very even balance, showed both sides of the story, and there was nothing I could complain about. And I thought they portrayed it very well. And I say to people that it's not a Rocky film. It's more of a Billy Elliot. It's very easy to absorb, and you can't put everything into it. You can't put every scene and every thing what went off in that. And I think from people who look from the outside, it's a great way to get into the Brendan and Naz story in Sheffield boxing. Obviously, there was a lot more going on behind the scenes, a lot more stories. It could actually be a Netflix series.
Yeah, well, that's what you need, isn't it?
It could be, and something might spawn off of that after this film, because there was so many things going on. It was a great time. So overall, I couldn't have asked for a better film, to be honest.
And the relationship with Naseem Hamed and your dad Brendan, do you think it was? I mean, what was their relationship like?
Well, it was like a father-son. When obviously Naz is a few years younger than me, but whenever we turned around, Naz was always there. He was always monopolising Brendan's time, my dad's time, going on walks. He'd take Naz, me brother John. They were always together doing everything, and we knew he was going to be a star. But he'd always turn up at the door. They'd go for walks every weekend. Sunday, go for a walk around, and Brendan explained to him all the stuff what was going on in boxing and where he was going to be. So it was that kind of relationship. It was a close relationship. So no wonder at the end it was acrimonious the way it split, and there was a lot of bitterness. But that was kind of their story. It's not something that the rest of us took on board, because we didn't get involved in it in that.
You left them to it.
Left them to it, and it's their story. Like I said, I know it's my dad, but there's two sides to every story. So we just sat back, and we've seen Naz 2 or 3 times, 4 times in the last 30 years since he left. He's come to the gym. His lads have come to the gym. That's times. It's all as my dad actually used to say. It's all water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Time moves on. We've all got into a better place because of it.
Yeah, it was like a father-son relationship, wasn't it, them two? How old was Naz when they met?
Naz was 7, so he was a very impressionable kid, and a very pleasant kid, very very mild. And I think his mum always, or his dad said, or his mum said that Naseem means something like gentle breeze. And he was that type of kid, and it kind of changed at a certain point. Naz realised, he was a Yemeni from Sheffield. He didn't really have... He had a community behind him, but they got no money. And the way to push him forward was to make him a bit of a loudmouth, and it wasn't really his style. I can remember my dad having conversations with him saying, you need to sell yourself, you need to be brash and flash, and Naz, Brendan, that's not me though. But you're going to have to do that to create attention. And once he did, and he realised it worked, he got more confidence with it.
So your dad suggested to him be confident and be brash.
Yeah.
But did he have natural confidence anyway? Because his fighting style and the way he was.
Not really when he was
he not leery?
No, not as a kid at all. When he boxed in the amateur, very pleasant, polite kid, very well mannered, never got into trouble at school, never caused trouble, always walk away from it. A very pleasant kid. It's only when he got to be a pro that he had to. Even then, when his first few fights.
Didn't he have a bit of flair as a kid? A little bit of
he had the flair, but he had the flair with the movement and the style, but he didn't really have the chat to go with it. He was very, he played it down a lot. He wasn't a gobby kid. He wasn't like what we call a gobshite.
But was his style always unorthodox?
His style was always flash. His style was always flash. I mean, when he first boxed as an amateur, obviously they pull him up in the ring, but before he could, we used to get people coming to the gym and saying, I want to box like Naseem Hamed, and we say, right, do this and do your footwork. Yeah, we don't box like that. Because but before he boxed like he does, he mastered the basics of boxing. He was a very good orthodox and southpaw fighter, very in the amateur style, very technical, and then he developed the flair as time went on, so he had to do everything right before he did everything wrong, so to speak.
I got it. I trained with Fidel Castro Smith, who boxed
Slugger O'Toole,
that was his ring name. And I think a lot of the drills that I used to do every Friday night at the Pulse Gym in Nottingham, he took off your dad. And I think it was like a jab, step back off the bag, step back to bag, jab.
That's it.
Like monotonous, then 1-2, step back, step back. Then orthodox, then southpaw. And
both ways.
Like an hour and 10 minutes, just basics. And
Naz was never off that bag. I mean, we got it in the gym. It's the famous.
Did he do all that?
He did all that stuff. Yeah, obviously, like I said, the system and Errol Graham before him. So
of course.
I saw a bit of there was a very good kind of 20-minute film on ITV yesterday came out. We had a kid come down and film. He got all the archive stuff from back in the day, what Yorkshire TV had filmed, and they've got Errol Graham on the bag. My dad's holding the bag, and Errol's doing the exact thing. Errol Graham's doing it, and that system was in place. Brendan taught that system, which he brought over from Ireland, and everybody did them set of blows. And then Naz came in as a kid. He followed that process. Johnny Nelson did. Junior Witter, everybody. Kel Brook. They all know the heavy bag drill, and that's where it were. That was part of the training system.
And that flary style kind of. It's almost, you could argue that Errol Bomber Graham did it first, didn't he?
Errol did it in a different type of way. Errol was a southpaw, Naz was a southpaw. Errol Graham had the hands down, but Naz took it that one step further. He kind of developed that style, the hands down, make your miss, counter. But it's no surprise because, hands behind your back, because he sparred with Errol Graham as a kid. Him and Ryan Rhodes. I can remember Errol Graham being in the gym, and Ryan Rhodes and Naseem Hamed both sparring him, and he's tapping him around, and they're jumping around as little kids trying to hit him jump. And Naz, the reason Naz has got what do they call it? They calls it the Superman shot, where he jumps off the floor to land the shot. And Naz used to do that to try and get up onto Errol's chin, because Brendan would say, right, you two hit Errol Graham anyway. And they're only small kids, and they're jumping up, and Errol's getting out of the way, and they're trying to clip him. So it's interesting.
Ryan Rhodes never got mentioned in the film, did he? Because Kel Brook came in towards the end.
I think Ryan is in it. I think he is. I think somewhere he's in there.
He was quite a big part of.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he is in there somewhere. I think he is. I think there's a part when we go to a box. Yeah, he is, because he's in. I think he's in the corner. He's in the corner with Naz in one of the fights, and it did actually happen that Ryan went in the corner with him. So yeah, Ryan's in there, and they were good mates. I mean, Ryan's a few years younger than Naz, but at one point they were inseparable.
Yeah, well, it's a really good film. I really enjoyed it, and I'm a massive fan of the Ingle family, if you like, and the Winkerbank gym and the history. And it's not just about Naz. We mentioned mentioned Errol Bomber Graham. There's a Sheffield Spice Boy, Ryan Rhodes, and there's obviously a lot more. I mean, Isham Pickram was there for a bit. Kel Brook, Barry
O'Ward, Kid Galahad.
I really know him as Kid Galahad.
We had lots of kids. In fact, we were talking about the kids you'd face from our gym.
Yeah, you've been in the opposing corner a couple of times, haven't you?
Yeah, and I thought.
Remember the first one?
I can't remember Was it Mike Duffield?
I think it was. You know what? I think it was the British title defence
against. No, it won't have been. It'll be Mike Duffield, because you couldn't have boxed Mike Duffield after Damon Egg. So I think you boxed.
Of course, no, you're right.
Mike Duffield first, and then you boxed Damon Egg.
He knows his boxing.
And then I tell you who you boxed, but he wasn't with us at the time. Michael Monaghan.
Oh, McMonaghan, of course.
Yeah, we trained him for a while, then you fought him.
He was another gobshite.
Yeah,
well, I say another one. Mark Duffield jumped in and squared up to
Yeah,
me.
he did. Yeah, so you've had kind of 3 opponents from our gym.
That was at Dagenham. That was.
Is
Mark
that what it
Duffield
was?
one.
Yeah.
That was
but we wasn't with him at the time.
One.
But
I think John was in the corner there for that
no,
one.
No,
was he not? Who was in the corner?
No, he
with
wasn't.
Mark Duffield.
He was. Oh, yeah, Duffield. It was John, but for Mick Monaghan, it was somebody else. But I always remember Mick Monaghan came to our gym, and we sent him down to spar with Joe Calzaghe. I can always remember Joe Calzaghe saying what a great spar he was. But when Michael Monaghan come back, his nose, he'd gone like that. He bent across his face. He goes, "He caught me a good shot." He smashed his nose in.
Really?
But yeah, he was game enough. I think he lasted a few rounds with you, didn't he? And then you finished him off.
Yeah, he was pissed off with that stoppage. Howard Foster again.
Yeah, but he was a legitimate. I think I would just look forward and thought you don't want to get this kid. He could see the levels and he was getting smashed, weren't he?
Yeah, he was. It was actually one Howard Foster. Howard Foster jumped in against Ruben Gromwald and then fell over. I forgot the referee against Monaghan, but he was complaining when he got stopped.
Yeah,
Monaghan,
and
he wanted to carry on.
It was a legitimate stoppage.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad little fight though. Punched quite hard. He had a bit of an awkward style, but it was a good fight. But
do you know what his claim to fame was? His claim to fame was that I think he beat Ryan Rhodes in the amateurs.
Oh, really?
That was his claim to fame.
That's not a bad claim to fame.
No.
Ryan Rhodes was a good little fight.
But then when I asked Ryan, he went, "I got robbed."
Yeah.
So it might have been the case.
There was a lot of that. Yeah. I mean, Ryan Rhodes was more talented, I think.
Yeah.
A better all-round fighter. Right, well, let's move on to some boxing because we've talked about the film with Naseem Hamed. Let's talk about what you thought of 2025, which is now just behind us. What was your sort of fight of the year? I've got
2024 is just. Oh, it is 2025.
Yeah, so we're in 26 now, obviously.
Yeah,
It goes quick, doesn't it? 2026.
Yeah.
How did that happen? When you look back on 2025, do you think it was a good year for boxing?
Do you know what? As time's gone on, I'm kind of less interested because it's not like the times. Like I say, what did you turn pro? The class of 2000 was it?
2002.
2002. So you think how much time's gone from then? Like 24 years. You know, that was a great time from 2000, even before that onwards. And I getting to 2020, it seems to have tailed off boxing a lot. It just doesn't seem to be how it was, and it doesn't really. The scene now is not as interesting. I think a lot of the talent's been being expended. There's no good kids coming through. They're not investing at the ground levels and bringing the kids through, and they're going to find there's a big massive void at some point when all these top names have gone. There's not going to be a great deal coming through with kids are trying to build up. It's just not the same.
No.
But 2025, there was some great fights. You look at Canelo Crawford was a tremendous fight. I really enjoyed that one. Who else have we had? Have we had an AJ fight?
I've had the joke shop AJ fight, haven't we? You thought
Jake Paul.
Fake Paul, yeah, which was a joke, really. Wasn't
So if I was,
what did you make of that fight? Piss take, just like money.
Do you know what? People said that he was going to hold him up, and I'm glad they didn't hold him up.
Do you think he held him up for a few rounds?
No, I don't even think. Do you know what I think it was? Look,
awkward to catch up with him.
If you know boxing, and you might have done this. I mean, I did listen to you once doing an interview when you boxed George Groves, and you said that you didn't do your normal thing. You trained at home, you read on a treadmill, and because you'd sparred him and you thought you got his measure.
Yeah.
And then
I kind of had enough of the game as well.
Well, that's another thing.
The desire was going.
And then I think when he had that first fight, it recreated the desire to prove everybody wrong.
Absolutely.
But you get to that point where if a good enough fighter will be able to assess what's in front of him, and anybody who's got any sense would know there's never a chance in a million years that somebody like Jake Paul could ever beat AJ. But I don't, and I think you're gonna back me up on this one. Is that, if you had somebody like that, or you didn't consider a threat, you think, well, I've only got to train 50%. You're not gonna go out and be like a monk and kill yourself doing it because you think, well, I'll beat this kid with one hand.
And then that affects your performance.
It can affect your performance, and I think that's what happened in that fight. I think AJ thought, well, because once I clip him, he's not going to stand up. It's just a case of clipping him, and he did. But he was kind of chasing him around like a cat chasing a mouse at first, and then he caught up with him. I think if AJ had have applied himself like he would for any big fight, it wouldn't have lasted more than 2 rounds. But it was entertaining to the YouTube crowd while it lasted. I think.
Who was your fighter of the year last year? You got Crawford, Inoue, Usyk.
They're all good fights, but I think I'd have to say Crawford because of his age, the divisions he's come through. I can remember when he boxed Ricky Burns at Super Feather or whatever it was, and then working his way through, and to do that to Canelo and completely outgame him and have a fantastic game plan and beat him. You've got to give it to Crawford. There's not going to be fighters. And is he retired now? You've said he was retired after that.
He said he's retired, didn't
but you're not going to get another one like him. So it's got to be him. and he was a great fighter. Great to watch for the lighter weights, puncher, beats everybody, and he actually got dropped in one of his fights. But great fighter. So I'm gonna say Crawford.
What do you make of Usyk? That's fair enough. Good shot. Crawford's quality. What do you make of Usyk? He's talking about fighting Wilder potentially.
I just don't know why he wants to do that, because Wilder's past his sell-by date, way past his. Well, unless he wants to give Wilder a payday.
He's talking like he's back Wilder, but we've seen him, haven't we?
No, I think he's just got to that point. Yeah, he's got to that point that. When it was Zhang who beat him, and I just don't think he's got it anymore.
And Parker didn't he as well?
Yeah, Parker.
And
yeah,
it's like definitely finished.
So why would anyone want to see that apart from the car crash TV that it would be?
No, exactly. What do you reckon? Tyson Fury reckons he's back now. He's talking again. And people
the rumour is he's boxing Dave Allen's last opponent. I don't know how true that is, but it was a good comeback fight, and I think Tyson has to wrestle with himself. He's got a lot of money. And it's a case of can you know what it's like, when boxing is a hard game. You have to make sacrifices with your family, your life. You have to put it on hold. But you seem to have adjusted well after boxing and got into other stuff.
I think working with Sky Sports straight after I retired sort of kept me out of the ring, because I was involved in a big fight, still looking at it, still getting the adrenaline from it and the nerves. So I was still nervous when people walked to the ring. I'm like, because you put yourself there. Yeah. And I had a job to do on Sky, and I had 6 or 7 years out of that.
We're good. It was...
And if I didn't do that, maybe I'd have been like,
what am I going to do? Yeah. Because I look at Joe Calzaghe these days, and Joe's like a fantastic fighter. And
he was all right.
Well, every time anybody asks me who'd win in Cole, Froch and Calzaghe, I would say Calzaghe.
Because, you've always got my back though, haven't you?
Well, the thing is, the reason I say that is because I always remember saying to you, and you were saying to me one time, we were in America, we were in Los Angeles, Junior Witter was fighting, you were supposed to be fighting, Howard Eastman was fighting, and you said, I hate fighting southpaws, I hate southpaws.
Never lost to a southpaw.
No, I never have, but you hate, and I thought, Calzaghe's just one of them kids, he's an awkward kid, and stylistically, I think it'd be difficult for you. But same with Joe, he never went into anything after boxing, kind of stopped, and he's doing stuff. But I think you've got to keep active to keep you there. And I think with Tyson, what is he going to do if he picks up boxing? What else can he do?
Are you interested in the AJ fight with Tyson Fury?
To be honest, I am, because I think even though AJ's had that win against. Against Jake Paul, it does kind of bring him back. He got through it, and he's back on there after getting knocked out badly by Dubois. So I think it's still an interesting fight for the.
That was a bad knockout, wasn't it, against Dubois?
It was a bad knockout because it kind of he just threw caution to me. I mean, who loads up off the backhand? It's like. Realistically, without sticking a jab in first and measuring it, it's just a really, really novice thing to do. And you couldn't, fault Dubois. He pinged him right on the button, didn't he? And he can punch Dubois. There's no two ways about that. So it was interesting, and it just shook everything up in heavyweight boxing.
Yeah, definitely. And that could be the end of AJ.
It could be the end of the AJ, and obviously the recent events as well. But let's just see what happens. It's like I would like to see the fight between Tyson and AJ.
Yeah, I think I would as well, actually, even though it's past its sell-by date. It's still two big names.
Listen, you were boxing at the time, or I think you were boxing at the time. It's like when Lennox Lewis boxed Mike Tyson, it was well past the sell-by date. They weren't in the prime. Yeah. And we got the fight that we got. They said the thing about Kilbrook and Amir Khan, well past the best when they boxed, but it was still a good fight. So I think it's the same, the interest. Yeah. It's still a better fight than Conor Benn and Eubank Jr.
Well, that's a nice one to bring me on to. I was talking about Conor Benn next. What's next for him? Devon Haney. We'll go through these quick. Devon Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, there's all them kids, but I think...
How do you think Conor Benn would do against Ryan Garcia? Is Ryan Garcia kind of finished now, do you think?
Well, he blows it on cold, doesn't he? But Ryan Garcia is a very clever fighter. And
I think Conor Benn would cope with it.
Conor Benn, if he could jump on him and ruffle his feathers a little bit, but it just depends what Ryan Garcia's got left, whether he can be interested in doing it. I think both at the best, Ryan Garcia plays with him.
What about Haney?
Same with Devon Haney, really.
He's a quality fighter.
He's a good fighter.
He gets told he's boring and whatever.
No, but he does what he's got to do. He's been beat, he's adjusted, and he's come back. Yeah. Conor Benn isn't for me a very good technical fighter. He's got plenty of strength and aggression and fitness.
He's got a good heart and desire for somebody who kind of don't need it.
He's got all that, but then, like I said, his limitation is his boxing know-how, so to speak.
Yeah. But he's got no experience as an amateur, has he? So that'd be why.
But you know what? It's sometimes you can get away with that. but it's what you're learning and building throughout your career as a pro. If everything's a learning day and a school day, you're going to do well. If it's one of them that think, well, I've made it now, I just have to roll up and train, do a 12-week, 16-week camp, and I'm ready to go. That's a different matter.
Yeah, and he's made a lot of money without actually.
Yeah, he's made. Listen, fair play to him.
Absolutely.
Like I said, that last fight, he made a fortune. Would they make that kind of money if the the Turkey money wasn't involved? Probably not, because it's. To be able to generate money like you did on pay-per-view requires people to sit down and chuck the money in.
They've got to buy the tickets, they've got to buy the pay-per-view,
exactly.
And that's the bulk of the money.
Exactly. And we don't really know whether Eubank and Benn would generate that on a genuine pay-per-view situation.
No, right.
I wouldn't pay for it. So, and I don't think a lot of people would.
I think Eubank's done now. That's the end of him after that.
He just
struggling.
struggling
even at super middle.
He just looked wrong, didn't he? That fight, but he's knocking on. Is he 36 now? I think 34, 36, whatever it is. I think his time's done.
Who's your top 3 fighters in the last 25 years? A couple of fun ones. Top 25 years, long time. Top 3.
British. Or just British. Well, all right. Well, British. 25 years. 25 years. Top. Ricky Hatton.
Yeah,
definitely Ricky Hatton.
Good shout.
I've got to put you in there.
Put the Cobra in there. I've got 4-time world champ, Hall of Famer.
And the reason why is because
I'm loving this.
Is because, and it's same with Ricky Hatton, is when you're up against the wall. Like I say, I always go back to the Jermaine Taylor fight. And Jermaine Taylor, let's not forget, did he beat Bernard Hopkins twice?
He did. Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor was a tremendous fighter, and he schooled you for like 11 rounds.
I wouldn't say schooled.
Well, if I'm just going to give it to the people out there who are not like technical, I'm going to say, by all intents and purposes, it looked like he did. And it's only makes you look better because
just outboxed me a little bit, didn't it? Bit quick, bit fast.
He did. He was a good boxer, but when it came down to chomping down on the gum shield, and thinking, I've got 3 minutes to turn this fight around. Do you understand? That's what you just went hell for leather. And it
started in round 10, that did.
I know it did, but I'm just saying to.
But you're right. The last round came. And it
started in round 10 when you could sense it that you got 2 rounds to go and you had to start digging in. But when it came to that 12th round coming out, it was like you've got to finish this, and you went out there and you got him, and that's not easy to do. So and there's not many fighters who can do that. What they'll do is they'll not put it in, they'll get beaten, and they'll kick off. Oh, I got robbed and whatever. But you knew you were behind and you had to finish him. Robert Kraken probably said, listen, Froch, you need to knock this kid out, and you went out and did it. So, we're going to say Ricky out, I'm going to say you. Who else are we going to say 25 years? Naz is outside of that time frame, I think. I think Naz is outside. But if it isn't, I would say Naz. All right, we can't have Naz in then. Who else would I say?
Any heavyweights?
Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, he's in the 25, isn't he?
Lennox Lewis, good fighter. When you think of the times he got knocked out bad and then came back from it and boxed us in.
Hasim Rahman and Oliver McCall.
Yeah.
And he got up.
He boxed him again and boxed him. And now when you see the Klitschko's, when they got beat, they never rematched the kids.
No.
They never rematched the kids. What happened is the other brother beat the other. If anybody beat the younger brother, the older brother beat him up.
Talking about people who didn't want to rematch, Calzaghe never rematched Robin Reed.
No. But to be honest, I don't think it. I was at that
close fight, split decision.
Yeah, it was in Newcastle, but I don't think Robin Reed's a nice kid. I think Calzaghe would have beaten him. There's something wrong with Calzaghe.
Calzaghe fanboy, isn't it?
I'm not. Listen. I've got a good appreciation
top fighter,
of good fighters. If you look at Calzaghe through the amateurs and through the pros, and he boxed a few of my kids as well, just like you did. He boxed Paul Stinger Mason, he boxed a few kids of ours. Yeah. You could tell he was a very good kid. He beat some good amateurs all the way through. So you got to give Joe Calzaghe credit. And in fact, I'd have to put Joe in that mix as well. He was in the last 25 years. So I can't say if I had to say top 3, I would say Ricky Hatton, you, Calzaghe. Because I like that style. If we had 4, we're going to chuck in Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis, yeah. Good shot. He knows his boxing. Right, we're nearly there. Who's the biggest knobhead in boxing?
Apart from me and you. Because if you've got an opinion...
Yeah, we're out of it, aren't we?
I'm a proper knobhead in boxing. Like I say, people...
It's not a bad accolade, is it, being a knobhead?
To be honest, I don't care.
Who calls you a knobhead? No one to your face.
I don't know, because I never read... You'd be surprised. Yeah. I don't read comments, so it don't really matter. Who's the biggest knobhead in boxing? Do you know what? I can't really say because I haven't really got that much of an opinion. I understand. Not really. I understand. You know, there's a lot of stuff goes on in boxing, and it's like somebody says to me, "Oh, do you hate in boxing?" I don't really hate many people in life. It's not worth the hassle.
Do you know Nick's it quite a lot, and he'll love this as well. That I mentioned him again. Gareth A. Davies.
Is he?
Do you come across him?
Yeah, I know. I've known Gareth a long time.
I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Why are we talking about him in knobheads though?
Because he's a proper knobhead.
Oh right. I don't know. Do you know what? I don't mind Gareth. I
don't.
dealt with him. So
it comes up a lot. That's all.
There's nobody really.
No.
There's nobody really riles me up enough for me to call him a knobhead or a
twat
or whatever. It's like, oh, well, that's your opinion. Boxing's full of these.
Yeah.
You
couldn't care enough, do you?
Well, you name me 5 who you think are a knobhead, and I'll see if I agree with you.
I ain't got 5 knobheads.
Right, exactly. So you've just got one Gareth. So Gad's got the full force of it, has he?
He's got the number 1 spot.
Yeah, no, I couldn't really see.
I just think Calasalam was alright knobhead, but he's actually alright.
Yeah, I don't really know him.
A few people pull up Ben Shalom, but that was Eddie Hearn giving him some stick. I think he's alright, Ben.
Ben's alright. I've had a couple of dealings with Ben, and I'm not going to say he's a knobhead. He's not a knobhead. I think he hasn't got what it needs to be a top promoter, but he's not a knobhead. There's very few people I think to myself, oh, he's a... Well, actually, there is one. I'm not going to mention it because every time you do, he tries to take legal action. But so I have actually got somebody in my mind, but I'm not going to mention it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
He's not English, by the way.
Maybe not. That's it then. We'll leave it there. Last one.
Oh, another last one.
Me and you having a couple of tequilas in the bar.
I thought you were going to say me and you were going to do a few rounds. How long are you going to last?
Couple of tequilas.
I can't drink, but go on.
Couple of birds over there.
Yeah.
We're eyeing them up. We don't realise we're with a couple of hard nuts. We're eyeing up the wrong chicks.
Right, what do you mean?
It's going to kick off.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, you've done this question with Johnny Nelson.
Who do you want by your side?
You've done this with Johnny Nelson.
You've got 3 fighters you can have.
Well, wait a minute. Let's see. He did this with Johnny Nelson, and Johnny phoned me because I've speaking to Cole Froch. He says, and when I mentioned you, he went, really? Him? Flex? He can't fight, can he?
I was surprised he picked you, because like you said, you plastered, you sit back, you don't get involved in the aggro.
Yeah. But yeah, who would I...
So that aside...
Well, to be honest...
3 do you want by your side?
My opinion is this, Cole. And it works well, and it's the advice I got off my dad, and it's always worked well for me, is if somebody's eyeing you up and wants to have a fight, the best thing to do is actually just to walk off. Then he'd say, talk your way out of it, and only actually come to blows when it's the last thing you've got to be able to do. And you do find in life is if your first approach is to bang somebody, then it kind of escalates from that, when you can really subdue people by just talking to them. So if I had to have somebody, I don't know, I've never really needed anybody in my life for backup because I've never got into that situation.
Oh,
to
you're
be honest,
showing off.
No,
showing
I'm
off.
just saying I've never got into that situation where I've needed to have any backup because I've kind of diffused the situation. But it's always handy, but to have somebody by your side. And in times past, I tell you, if I had to, I'd be able to pick one, and I have had to pick one once. And I'll tell you why I had to pick one, because I got my arm in a sling. I got my collarbone broke by John Buster Keaton, this one here. I'm southpaw. He's hit me with an overhand right in sparring, snapped my collarbone. So I've got my arm in a sling, and Johnny Nelson was fighting Cole Thompson for the world title in Derby.
What a fight.
I'm in the car park, and as I'm walking out, some kid's kicking off, oh, that were robbery, blah, 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 and I've got my arm in a sling. And
you look around and Johnny was gone.
Johnny was, I don't know who Johnny was, but John Keaton was with me. John Keaton turned
Buster
round. Buster Keaton. And he turned round and he got into a bit of a conversation with his kid. And it was diffused. But then we were at a show a couple of weeks later, and this kid came up to me again, and he's in my face.
Oh, really?
He's in my face giving it one at this boxing show. And I see John Keaton at side of me, and he's got this watch on. He's just taking his watch off. Ooh, and I can see he's ready to sleep this kid. And this kid can't even see him. And my dad's going, no, don't.
Brendan spotted it.
Do you know what I mean? And my dad got in and diffused it. But John Keaton was like a pit bull ready to go. You know what I mean? So if I had to rely on anybody, it would only probably be one. It would be him. So
he's got your back, has he? And he's got the mindset for it.
He fights for fun.
What weight was he?
Cruiserweight.
Oh, a big lump then.
Cruiserweight. Ended up British champion. We've been all over the world together. South Africa, Canada, London, been down to London back in the day, beat Mickey Duff's kids. He had a great career, to be honest, just a steady kid. And as an amateur, I always remember this, the last one, he's boxing this kid, he put his last amateur fight, they're having to wear head guards. Anyway, he hits this kid with a left hook, that was one of his best shots. and it looked like he'd knocked this kid's head off, but it was the head guard what came flying off, but it looked like he'd decapitated this kid. Yeah. And I looked and thought, took his head off anyway. He beat the kid, and that was it, he turned pro. But yeah, it'd be John Keaton, I think.
No, fair enough.
It wouldn't be Johnny.
No.
Because Johnny would never seen John. We used to work together, me and Johnny.
He's not a fighting man, is he, Johnny?
He can fight, only in the ring.
He can fight, yeah.
But as we used to work as security we used to work at the Grosvenor House Hotel when the snooker was on. They used to have the World Championships there. And there used to be no end of trouble. And Johnny never, ever, ever got into any trouble. He was never there. He was like Will-o'-the-Wisp. So yeah, Johnny always avoided it wherever he could, and saved it for the ring.
Fair play to him. Listen, Dom, enjoyed your time. It's a pleasure. Go that way, because I'm going to do something.
Oh, wait a minute. Ready? Ready?
I'll have a pull about a little bit.
He's strong.
We're going for it.
He's Polish. Go.
Got a bit of a bad hand there. Are we going?
He's so strong.
Bob, it's been a pleasure, man. Nice. We'll pull about a little bit if you want a little pull and a push.